Hey guys, what's up, it's iFlynn here, and today we're going to be taking a look at an Ember World on Fire build. But before I continue with this video, there is a giveaway on Twitter for 75 Platinum on all platforms. There's going to be free winners. All you have to do is click the link down in the description below, like the tweet, follow my account, and then comment your in-game name and your platform, and make sure to retweet the tweet after you've done that there, and then that's pretty much all you have to do, and then you're entered into the giveaway, and that's done and dusted. So, continuing with the World on Fire build, Ember is a low level killer. She likes to kill enemies that are relatively low level, and that's pretty much all she is used for. You can use her at endgame for a little bit of crowd control for World on Fire build, but not as much. The reason that she's so good is because you can kind of just press the ability and just stand there and everything's going to die around you. And that's why a lot of people like her. So she's a super lazy frame, but it also makes her a super efficient farmer for lower levels. Like, for example, Everest on Earth. You know, you get Ember relatively early, and once you get access to Ember, you get access to the Corrupted Vaults, or the Orc Derelict, which means you can go in there, you can get the Corrupted mods, and you can basically slap together this build. It's a super easy build to slap together, and yeah, it's just super awesome for early game farming, and that's why a lot of people use it to blast through the lower level content. Obviously, there's other frames out there like Equinox or Serum, which can do basically the equivalent, but just a lot more effort is involved, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe not so much with Equinox, but with Saren, yeah, and Equinox to a certain extent. You kind of have to, you know, kill the enemies, and then you press 4 again. With this here, when you kind of just toggle it on and off, and then that's pretty much it. So, if we take a look at the build, World on Fire works similar to how Exalted Blade works. So basically, it's a drain over time ability. So that means it's going to drain your energy over time. And you can see right here, the energy per second, or the amount of energy that's going to be drained per second, is 0.75, which is the best you can get. And this is achieved with a combination of efficiency and duration mods, just like Exalted Blade, like I said. So if we go ahead and we press upgrade right here, you'll see we have Prime Continuity, Streamline, and Fleet Expertise Max Rank. We go ahead, we take off Fleet Expertise, or not Fleet Expertise, sorry, but our Prime Continuity. You'll see the drain goes up to 2.4, which is not good. So that just basically highlights, yeah, you definitely 110% need to have duration on there. You can replace Prime Continuity with regular Continuity, Prime Flow with regular Flow. That's totally fine if you're a newer player. Prime Continuity and Prime Flow, you can get those from the Void Trader. But he comes every 2 Fridays to a specific relay, and yeah, you'll basically know whenever he comes around because you get an inbox message on the day. Explaining the rest of the build, I like to throw on a decent amount of power strength with Intensified Transient Fortitude and Power Drift. Now, the Drift mod, it is very personal preference, right? If you're a newer player, you won't have access to this here. But if you're a player who's more developed and you have all these drift mods and stuff, you know, you can swap it out for Cunning Drift or Power Drift. It's like a very small difference in the two stats. I think you get like 2 more meters on your range with Cunning Drift, and you get like, I think it's like 60 more points of damage or something with Power Drift. So it's super personal preference, whatever you want. I like Power Drift just for that extra damage on there. Kills the enemies faster and kills the enemies who are closer to me faster. And then obviously you have Stretch on there for a little bit of range. We don't use Overextend it because then we'd just be doing less damage, and that's not what we want at all. And then Vitality on here for our health. Prime Flow for energy. And then your Aura mod can be either Cruise Projection or Energy Siphon, depending on what you want to do. So a good demonstration on using Ember here. So let's say, for example, we want to go against Butchers, okay? Spawn in these Butchers. Butchers have armor. We make them level, or no, we spawn in 20 of them. We make them level 30. This is basically low level. This is star chart level right here. You press 4, and then they're all going to die. They'll just kind of drop dead. Obviously, these guys have a very low health pool, and they have very little armor. But these are the types of mobs that spawn in, like, a lot. You know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal that we're able to kill them in the masses. And then we go ahead, we do the exact same with the heavy gunners. Now what you can do is all of Ember's abilities work in conjunction with one another, right? So what you'll be doing is you'll be hitting your World on Fire. You'll have that there up. You'll have your Accelerant, which will buff up your damage. You'll press your free to knock them over, set them on fire, kill them a little bit faster. So you basically be jumping into every single room and doing this combo over and over and over again. Really, that's what you're trying to achieve with Ember. You just keep on repeating this combo and make sure that the enemies die. Keeping your Accelerant up because that buffs up your damage. So realistically, you want to be hitting your accelerant, then turn on World on Fire, and then you use your Fire Blast, which is your third ability. Light them on fire again. Keep on dealing damage that way. And that's pretty much that, you know? Obviously, whenever they get ignited on fire, does a little bit of damage over time as well, which is pretty cool and stuff. But, you know, it's definitely a low-level killer, you know? Those were armored, level 30 enemies. This is not a build for going in the endgame, right? Because we do the exact same thing versus level 145s. It's not even going to tickle these guys. These guys are going to kill me like almost instantaneously with this build because it's just not made for this type of content, right? So let's go ahead and see how much damage we do to these guys with accelerant and everything up. We're doing total like 25 damage. 104 is the highest number that we see there, and that's not even scratching his health, you know? So there's literally no point bringing Ember or bringing this build even to the higher levels because it's just pointless, you know? You're not going to do anything with it. It's definitely 110% a low-level killer. The frame that you want to be bringing to higher level missions is Equinox or Saren because they have better effects. They have status procs, they'll have slash procs, they'll have viral procs, which will reduce the enemy's maximum HP, where fire doesn't do that, right? So it's all down to that status proc in that regard, which is going to be dealing that damage, and also the damage you can store of Equinox and different things like that there. So with Ember, it's all about keeping all your abilities up and just, you know, murdering them with fire, really. Kill it with fire. So use your accelerant, gives you a damage multiplier of 5. That's a pretty big boost, and that lasts for 20 seconds. You have a range of 29, which is pretty good. So that's any, I believe that's any enemy caught in the blast. So you go near the enemies, you'd hit your accelerant, then you use your fire blast, knock them down, ignite them, your World on Fire will kill them. Pretty awesome. 70% status chance in that there. It ignites them as well. So yeah, that's basically what I want to do. So if you were to go ahead and you spawn in the butchers again, you can stun them with accelerant like it said there. So let's see. Go ahead and spawn in 20 of them. Here we go. Make them level 30 again. Simulate them. You jump in their face over here. You'll see that you do this, and then you hit your World on Fire, and they'll insta-die, which is pretty awesome. Like so, you can use your third ability, they'll insta-die. It's any enemy that is caught in the sort of radius of accelerant, which is going to be affected, and you're going to get that damage multiplier on. So you can definitely kill like decently high level enemies. I want to say, I don't know, maybe like level 60 maybe you'll get up to, which is the cap with Ember. But anything higher than that there, you're going to start to see some fall-offs, right? So let's bump these guys up to level 60 and see how fast we were able to kill them. Let's jump over here. We hit our accelerant. We hit our free. You still one-shot them with that accelerant active. Do the exact same thing again, but except we use World on Fire this time and see how that there goes. You're still one-shotting them. But keep in mind, those guys are the butchers, you know. We want to test it out versus the heavier units. Obviously, butchers, like I said, very common enemy, and you're going to be killing them pretty quickly. But it's the heavy gunners that a lot of people want to see being tested out and all that there jazz. So let's just go ahead and try it out versus the heavy gunners too, and we'll see how it works. So hit your accelerant, hit your 4, hit your free. You know, you're not really scratching them that much, which is why you really have to make sure that you're keeping your accelerant up, keeping your stun up, all that there good stuff to really make it effective versus these higher levels. So level 60 is where the drop off really starts to happen, but anything before this really is going to be the sort of sweet spot for Ember. Maybe if you're playing really, like being very careful with how you're playing at these higher levels, you might get away with it, but like I said, as the levels increases, so does your armor, and there's just no point in even bringing Ember to anything higher, because you're going to get diminishing returns, just going to take way too long to kill the enemies, things like that there. Like, we're even struggling right now to kill them, and we're keeping them in a constant loop of being stunned and hitting our free, having our World on Fire up. It takes a lot of energy, because keep in mind, we don't have our, we don't have fleeting on, so we don't have max efficiency, so you're going to run out of energy eventually, things like that there. So it's just not efficient to bring her to higher levels. It's definitely for that super early stand on top of the cryopod at like level 2 type mission and kill everything, just get the mission done and over with type of frame. So you might be able to farm like a mod or something, you know. So that is basically the uses of Ember. You can also use her for CC, like I said. You can put on the Fire Quick mod if you want to replace something in here like Intensify or something for it. And that'll basically just knock down the enemies whenever a World on Fire hits them. It's a 100% chance, so, you know, you can use that there if you like, but realistically, that's it. There's nothing else to say about Ember other than she's a synergistic frame, and you got to make sure that you have all your abilities working in conjunction with one another to really make the most of the frame. And she doesn't scale to endgame very well, and that's basically it. That was the build, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button below, and if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.